am Myra, Unat. My chosen topic is about anarchy. So, what is it? What comes in your mind when you hear the word anarchy? Anarchy is the absence of any authority superior to nation states and capable of arbitrating their disputes and enforcing international law. Anarchy comes from the two Greek word anarchos, which means without ruler, and anarchia, which means without government. So, what are the different forms of anarchy? First, we have green anarchism. Second, we have anarcho-feminism, anarcho-pacifism, queer anarchism, and lastly, the anarcho-capitalism. The prevalence of anarchy in the relation between states is the basic assumption of realism. According to realists, international law in practice imposes few direct constraints on the behavior of states, in part because there is almost no way of enforcing it. In the absence of a suprastate power or arbiter, there are no enforceable rules of conduct, especially for strong states. The harsh interstate environment is anarchic, both in strict sense of lacking enforceable international law and in the broader sense of being violently chaotic. The prevalence of this environment, in turn, requires that the primary goals of individual states be survival and security. How does anarchy respond to crime? The anarchy asserts that the crime is natural reaction to an oppressive government. They argue that a government can only punish the criminal but not prevent the crime. They believe that the only way to abolish crime is to abolish conditions that create it. But what about the punishment? How does anarchy respond about punishment? Anarchist believes that remorse alone would make crime virtually non-existent in ideal anarchist society. Advantages of anarchy. First, it adds creativity to the problem-solving process. Second, it eliminates the negative elements of the society, binds people together. Third, it encourages discussion and cooperation to find a common ground. Fourth, it respects the complexity of the world at the individual level. And lastly, it allows for individual privacy. The disadvantages of anarchy. First, it prevents people from living abusive relationships. Second, it is often confused as a form of socialism. Third, it requires real-world experience to make it functional. Fourth, it can create isolation. And lastly, it is often romanticized. The countries with anarchy government are Switzerland and Somalia. Anarchism is a political philosophy that argues that the state is lacking in moral legitimacy. Because of this, individuals are under no obligation to obey the state, and the state has no authority to command individuals. Anarchism is generally about the rejection of compulsory government and rule. It suggests that society can and should be organized without a coercive state. Anarchists ultimately reject hierarchy and focus on the power of the individual. They believe that all individuals can do what they choose up to the point of interfering what others choose. Today, anarchists exist in small groups of individuals who often advocate for the pursuit of goals that are closer than a widespread anarchist government. So, you'll see that anarchists protesting things like elections often to no avail. In conclusion, anarchy is ultimately about freedom, and not necessarily freedom in a legal sense, but freedom outside the constraints of currently placed on human nature by a central authority. It's about returning to the natural state of humanity where man can do what he pleases and lives communally.